Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Retail Shenanigans. This will be Retail Shenanigans episode 6. 6 guys. We made it this far. Oh, wait, let me see. Hold on. There we go. Got 6 fingers in the frame. Wait. There we go. Episode 6. Like I said, still learning, still growing as we go each day. Super excited. I'm having a ton of fun. Shout out to everybody who's been on so far. DJ, Alex, Megan, everybody, David Arnold. We've had a lot of fun on here so far, guys. And oh, sorry, can't forget about Nate as well. So I just want to thank everybody who's been on so far and everybody else who I have planned to come on. It's going to be a lot of fun. I've had a couple questions and some suggestions thrown out to me over time as I've done these, and I'm trying my best to incorporate everything. Again, infancy stage here, and we're taking baby steps to be better. I'm very excited. Today, I have a friend of mine who I actually met only a few years ago. Worked with him a little bit at Rent-A-Center, and from there, it just his personality and mine just clicked. And when I tell you he's a funny guy to be around, you will. It's hard to go 5 to 10 minutes without talking to this guy without just dying of laughter. Absolutely funny guy, outstanding person. Definitely a hard worker, and I can't praise him enough. So my guest today is Mitch McQuay. Mitch, how we doing today, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Just a little tired. Like been working a lot and then doing the podcasts after work, but can't complain. I really enjoy my job and I love doing the podcast, so I'm going to keep doing it as long as I can and as long as people keep watching.
Yeah.
So I know you are somebody who has your own YouTube channel, which is fantastic. How long have you been on YouTube?
I think I started doing it like 2 years ago, maybe.
Wow, that's awesome. And you do mostly, if I remember correctly, I know you do a lot of like, you did like card openings and things of that nature, right?
Yeah, I opened Pokemon cards.
Hey, no shame, man. No shame whatsoever. Um, So anyway, so you definitely have some YouTube experience. So that's awesome. Glad to have you on here, and definitely at the end we can have a couple plugs for your YouTube channel, get people aware, and get some people over there subscribed and liking your stuff too. Um,
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man! That's what we're here for. We're to help everybody. So to get us started off here, my first question for you, as far as retail shenanigans side of it goes, is how long have you worked in retail?
Um, I don't know. I'd say like probably be like 5, 6 years.
Okay, now what in that 5 to 6 years, what all have you done?
I worked at Walgreens.
Okay.
Um, Worked at a grocery store. I work at Pep Boys now. I've worked at AutoZone. I worked at Rent-A-Center, which I guess would be kind of retail. I worked at Walmart, Dollar General.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
Dollar
did all
General's
of
not a
it.
fun place. Okay, so what was your? You said currently you're working at Pep Boys, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's kind of like car parts and stuff, right? Or they just do like service or what?
They have a service department, but yeah, it's car parts.
Okay, and if I remember correctly, before you worked at Rent-A-Center, you worked at another car store, correct?
Yeah, I worked at AutoZone.
Okay, awesome. So what was your very first retail job?
Walgreens.
Ooh.
That was the only place that would hire me, and that was only because my mom worked with one of the ex-store managers, and he had trained the new store manager, and the guy gave me a shot.
Now, when you say the only place that would hire you, was there a reason? Like, is there a reason
No,
you
it
just
was like
weren't?
my first job, and like
Oh,
I
okay,
didn't want to
gotcha.
apply to certain places, so I applied to like Target and like shit like that. And the only place I actually heard from was Walmart. I mean, not I mean Walgreens.
I
Walgreens.
gotcha. No, that makes sense then, because a lot of places are very skeptical about hiring first-time employees, and they want people to have experience. But at the same time, if you're not willing to help people and to get them in, they're not going to get experience.
Yeah, because the guy worked with my mom. He's like, his mom's like a good worker, so you'll want him because he's gonna probably be like his mom. And I kind of was.
Kinda, just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay, so if you had to compare smart ass ability between you and your mom, who wins?
My who?
Smart ass, but who's more of a smart ass, you or your mom?
Oh, me, definitely. Because I've learned from like everybody else.
I
Because my
gotcha.
mom learned in a different time, so all my shit's funnier to everybody else because it's new.
Okay, awesome. So, how long did you work at Walgreens?
I was there like 3 years.
Wow, that's a long time for a first job.
Yeah, I managed to not get fired long enough till I got fired.
Wait, you actually ended up getting fired?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, we'll get to that. But so what all did you do in that 3 year span? Like what all was your jobs? Like did you get any promotions, things of that, or were you pretty much just like bag bitch, or were you like register person? What was
Whoa,
it?
hey, no, what the hell? Uh, I went in there. I started out as a cashier, like
Okay.
everybody else does. Then I started stocking, and they ended up having me start helping with the truck, being there at like 6 in the morning to unload it.
Okay.
And then I got to learn photo, and yeah,
So were you like the Robin Williams in 2 Hour Photo when he would like get pictures of a family and take them home and like be super creepy about it?
no, but there were people in there that would actually like when people brought in like dirty photos.
That's
Like there were
gross.
actually people that would like go back and look at them or like print and like an extra set for them. So
That's ridiculous. Okay, first off, that's fucking scummy as hell to do that for one. And for two, why would you take dirty pictures to Walgreens to get printed?
and
Like, where in your thought process is that, man,
it's
I
like
really like these pictures I took. Let me go take them to
some of it like
Walgreens.
was on like those old film cameras.
Oh, God. Like the
Some of them people
disposables?
brought it. Yeah, the
Oh,
disposable, and
God.
then some of them people actually came into the store and used the kiosk, but a lot of it was sent through online because they thought, I guess, it would just start printing automatically. Nobody would see it, stuff it in a little packlet thing, and then pack it away, and nobody got to see the titties.
Oh, my God. That's terrible. Oh, my God.
But we saw.
Oh, my God. Okay. So you said you ended up getting fired from there. Do you mind me asking why that happened, or is it something you might not want to talk about, or?
One of uh, baby mama's, my baby mama's sister's ex-boyfriend was one of my friends at the time, and we both
Okay.
worked together. He got hired well after I did, and he that whole balance rewards thing, like occasionally, like people left their card, and the employees would end up using it for people who didn't have one, didn't want to sign up, and everything.
Okay.
And it would just build up points because people would buy the stuff that gets the points. They just didn't have a card and didn't care about the points. Um, so he would use those points for himself
Ooh.
off the quote the store card that wasn't a store card.
Right.
Um, and eventually it got caught, and me and I know at least one other person got fired for knowing about it, not saying anything about it. I
Wow.
was like,
So
it didn't bother me, so that's why I didn't say anything. Like it wasn't affecting me in any way. Like the store was still getting paid
right.
for stuff, and they got paid for how like the product with their points. So it didn't like, but the loss prevention didn't see it as an issue, but the store manager was like, it's a trust thing. So
So you weren't involved, but you knew about it, and your buddy was redeeming the points, but because the store manager was pissed off that you didn't say anything, you lost your job too.
yes,
Man, that's
me and one other person,
I don't
but
know,
like
man.
more people in the store knew, so that like we were all confused.
Yeah. So
I
my
guess they would
target
just get rid of the people he wanted to get rid of.
Yeah, that's BS. If you're gonna do that, then not that I would say to do this, but if he was like, oh, X, X, and X, this person, like all three, like these all people knew, well then just fucking clean house, get rid of everybody instead of just pickpocketing, pinpointing one or two. That's not fair.
Yeah, and the girl that got fired with me did the tattoo on my forearm.
Oh my god. Okay.
Like
Okay.
3 days after I got fired, I was like, "Hey, you want to give me a tattoo?" And she was like, "Yes." And I was like, "Awesome."
So was she an actual tattoo artist, or was she just like,
I
man?
mean, she had a tattoo machine. She did good tattoos on her boyfriend. Everybody else just,
Okay, but I think that's, I don't know. I wouldn't let
I mean,
someone
it looked good at the time, and now it looks like not as good.
like garbage.
It's not 100% garbage.
Does it look like someone broke a pen open and did it that way?
No.
Okay. So then that'll bring us to our next question. Then is, so then if you had to pick one best memory of working in retail, what would it be? Whether it is, something monumental, or whether it was just something so small as a customer, saying something nice to you that made your day, but it really stuck with you. Like, what would you say is your best memory?
I'd say like the family like group that we kind of were, the employees that I worked with over the 3 years that I was there,
Okay.
because like we all knew each other because it was like literally like the same people, like literally like every single one of us were friends.
Right.
And it
So
was just a good atmosphere.
so pretty much like the camaraderie and the people that everybody was working 40 hours a week with, seeing more, that you all just got close.
Yeah.
Yeah, from my experience, I definitely think that happens a lot. I mean, as long as there's not people who are complete assholes, but I mean, sometimes, and with me especially, not to again put too much of my personal input in, but with me being the manager, I'm working a lot of hours, so sometimes I'm at work more times than I am at home. So these people I'm seeing at work, I see more than my family sometimes, and those that that stick around and are the hard workers, you definitely kind of pick up at them as part of like your work family. Would you kind of agree with that and say that's what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. So then on the flip side of that, what would turn it on its head there? What would you then say your worst retail memory would be? Like the worst thing, like, you know what I mean? Things of that nature.
Um,
Or like a massive horror story that you have.
to be honest, I guess I could say like my worst would be my current job.
Okay.
Um, so the guy that was in the position that I'm in before I got there, or 6 months before I got there,
Okay.
was fired because he was charging things to mechanics businesses accounts that he was getting for himself, but
Wow.
he wasn't paying for it.
Jesus.
So all the mechanics and everything were footing the bill, and then at some point they started noticing,
Right.
and this guy and it got fired for it, and they lost a lot of business. And when I was hired, I was told what I would be doing. And after I was hired, they said, "Hey, so this is what happened before. We have to get our customers back."
Right.
And every week after that, and I started February 3rd. So like literally like every week after that, my district manager would come in and say, "If this doesn't get fixed soon, we're gonna have to shut this department down." And I'm like, "You just hired me like a week or two ago, and you're telling me you're gonna close it down if it doesn't get fixed? Like, what sense does that make?" And like that's why like when I had commented about, I think it was like a couple episodes when your one guest was talking about trust issues.
Yeah.
Like every single one of those mechanics is going to have a trust issue and not want to shop.
Oh, most definitely.
And then most of the time, like if I've come back from like going out to lunch while I was at work, I came back and the phone in the back where my for my department I have to answer it. It's all the way in the back of the store. No one's worrying about it when I'm not there. So
Seriously? So
like,
they just let it ring, or let it like just let all that potential business not get taken care of?
exactly.
That's
And it's
terrible.
mechanics trying to buy things, and that's like their
Yeah.
biggest complaint is there's no one there answering the phone.
Well, yeah. Have you tried like going to your boss about it or like making a complaint about it?
Yeah, they all know. Like we've told them, and like I've seen like the other managers that like that are at the front of the store just like sit there and watch the phone ring, even when it's the phone that they're supposed to answer regardless, the store phone. Like I've literally watched them just sit there and watch it ring.
But yet, when you guys aren't getting mechanic business and things of that nature, and your district manager, sorry, and wants to start cracking skulls, it's they want to blame it on you.
Yeah,
That's bullshit. I hate businesses that do that. Like, not to get too in much in the details, but I know you and I used to work at Rent a Center, and I know you can agree with me 100% when we would have people that we know we didn't want to rent to, that we had literally the week prior picked up all their shit, and then
and we're taking them
taking
the
it right
same
back.
shit back or new shit.
Right, just to have them be back on the credit list, and then that causes us not to be able to go home on time on Saturdays. Like I know you remember, and I know that pissed me off.
Facts. That was ass.
So, like I said, not to like again throw too many personal things into that. I was just, you know what I mean. Like I can definitely relate with what you're saying. That's absolutely terrible. And companies like that, unfortunately, are the ones that are going to fall by the wayside. I mean, hell, even when I worked for FYE, they wanted us to get memberships and whatnot. And if somebody couldn't get memberships, they didn't. They wanted us to like write them up and fire them. And I'm like, that's no way to run a business. Like if someone's just not a good at getting memberships, okay. But if they're a great employee, like great with customers and a great stalker and everything else, why am I gonna ruin them just because they can't sell fucking memberships? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's why, like at Rent a Center, they were okay with me not having to make sales calls because I was no good at it. So I went with Bobby on all the deliveries.
Yeah. Well, meanwhile, Robert was fucking up every truck he drove.
Hey, brother.
I miss that hillbilly. Okay, so that was a definitely an experience, and I'm sorry that you are still going through that. And I hope I hope that changes for you, whether that be a new occupation or
Oh, I am
just
looking for another job.
okay.
Believe me, when with like you get hired into a job after having just been like out of work for 2 months,
Oh yeah,
and then you get told like a week later, "Hey, we're gonna close this if you don't fix it." And I'm just like,
yeah, that's not cool for a brand new
huh.
employee. Well, I think
Especially when like I call people, they wanted me to start calling the shops to say like I was there and everything, and like if they needed anything, and they would ask me like on the phone, like, can I look up something for them, and I would look it up. We don't have anything that they're asking for in stock, or can get it quickly,
right.
or like I would call and they would answer, or they just wouldn't answer. They would answer and then they would say, we don't want anything from you guys, or they would just not answer, period.
Yeah, that's crazy. Because I know down here in Texas, let me tell you, especially down here where I live, there are mechanic or some kind of car shop spitting distance between each other all everywhere down here.
Facts. I work in
Everywhere.
Glen Burnie, and I am telling you that my store like literally like my 5 mechanic shops within
Yep.
spitting distance.
Yep, and every single one of them are always like every day trying to outdo the other with a better deal or a better sale or better prices on tires or this kind of deal on a you get this many tires, we'll give you this one free or we'll mount you buy the tire, we'll do the work for free or whatever. There's a lot of competition. And that's one thing I love about Texas. Texas is so big. It's pretty much its own economy. I mean, it's booming down here. I mean, granted, I know a lot of it has to do with the coronavirus, but I mean, hell, a couple episodes ago, I was talking about gas. I'm paying $1.30 for gas right now.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's fucking beautiful down here. Anyway, so that kind of segues us from into my next question for you, which is so seeing as you're going through something like that, let's say another job opportunity comes around, whether or not it's something you got to take to make sure you're paying the bills or something that might make you happy, would you consider your next job to be, let's say, a Walgreens again or like a different type of store like that, or like go back to Walmart or Target? Would you consider something like that with your experiences, or would you want to steer away?
Um, I hate that I'm back in retail.
Okay.
I've hated retail forever, but I'm good at it, and
No,
that's what I don't like.
it's understandable.
Um, but when I was at Amazon, like people were telling me like I should put in to try to get promoted, and like I just felt like I didn't know enough, so I shouldn't. But people were like, "Hey, dude, you know more than enough. You know more than half of the fucking people in this building. Just go for it." And I was just nah. And then I got fired from there. But um,
Seems to be a trend.
not really. That was weird. But yeah,
Okay. So, no, I like the input. So, you definitely don't like it that you're back in retail, but at the same time, it's something that's helping you pay the bills, and even if they do like, okay, we're shutting you down, you at least have, you're at least at the current time making money. Because I know there's people right now, especially with the virus having everything shut down, that people aren't working, and there's
yeah,
people that
my
have,
hours got severely cut. I was at 45 hours a week, and now I'm at like 20 to 30.
geez,
Yeah,
that
my check last week was like literally like I worked 2 full weeks, two weeks of full schedule, but like I literally made like I only worked 1 week
damn, that's
and got
terrible.
paid for 1 week. Yeah,
That's horrible, and I hate that that happens to some places. Gratefully, again, I'm not trying to disparage or try to say anything about it, but I'm very grateful that the company I work for, we're able to keep open, and our hours haven't got cut, and I'm still able to make sure that my employees can pay their bills and feed their families. Um,
yeah.
but it's
I
definitely
would like to get a job like during this, like if I can switch during this to get something that would like doesn't have cut hours, so that way I could just like work.
No, I fully understand what you're saying, buddy, and trust me, you have my full support. And I've worked with you before. I know you're a solid worker, so I've told you this before. But please feel free. You can use me as a reference anytime you want.
And for some reason, as skinny as I am, I can pick up some heavy shit.
Yeah, and I think that was another reason they didn't mind sending you out with Robert. For one, you kind of not that you didn't make us all laugh because you did, but you and Robert were always quick to pick something up and do it. And Dave and I were busy. Dave was with sales and I was with credit, so it was a lot of
But also, somebody had to go with Robert, so you
yeah.
didn't hit anything.
And the fucker still did anyway.
he
I still did.
he needed. It's like the construction site. You got the one person with the hard hat who's supervising. That was anybody who went with Robert.
Yes, I still remember, clear as day. We were, I forget, can't remember when it was, but I know it was either it had, like the snow was just melting, or it had snowed like a day before or whatever. And you guys came back, and as soon as you walked into the office, you were like, "Well, Robert hit another car," and Dave and I turned around and we were like, "What?" And we were like, "What?" And you're like, "Yeah, Robert hit another car." And you just sat down like nothing, like no, nothing new. Just cracked open a Mountain Dew and some Doritos and started taking your lunch. And then our boss at the time came over into our office and was like, "What do you mean Robert hit another car?" And he was like, "Yeah, we made him write the information down and everything because Robert was just gonna bounce." That was terrible.
Um,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
Like same shit, different
Yeah,
day,
it was
brother.
just
What do you
it
mean?
was just nothing for you. You came in and Robert hit another car. But anyone out there, I'm not making fun of this person. I love this person to death. He was a good friend when we worked together. He just you had to know him. He was it was an interesting
He's
person.
from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bobby is good people though.
He Bobby's is good people. He is really good people. Um okay, so I honestly that was a great answer, and I appreciate your honesty with everything that I've asked you, and I'm grateful that I was able to give you a platform to really get on here and speak your mind about some of the experiences you've had. I really only have one last question for you, and that is, if you had any tips or anything you could say to help motivate those who are still out there working retail, which I know you are, but like if you could, like just a message you wanted to get out there to help people who are currently out there in the workforce, who are helping people to make sure that they're getting toilet paper, that they're make sure they're getting people their food, making sure the shelves are stocked. Is there anything like a message you would give them to help get them through to the next day? Because everybody knows retail workers, we eat shit every day. I mean, day in and day out, there are times where you just get treated like shit because the customer's always right and nothing you do is ever good enough. And there are
Yep.
days where you want to walk out or you want to just scream and holler and tell the customer to go fuck themselves, but you can't, and you absolutely can't. So if there was one message, one thing you could do to say to these people to help them make it through, what would you say?
Just keep going. Like it's going to be worth it in the end because everybody that is trying to get that 15 an hour, like this will show them why you are worth it. Just keep pushing for that. And like for those of you who are still working or when you go back to work, literally like do everything you can to learn everything that you can at your job. Try to become one of those people that where you could do anything. So that way when they look at someone to go like to that spot or get promoted or whatever, they can go look at you and you could be on your way up the ladder. So that way you're not stuck. And that way you can also continue to find better jobs while still moving up or maybe like a lateral to a better paying position. Do everything you can, work hard, learn anything you can, and during this time of the coronavirus, just keep going. Everything's going to work out in the end.
Wow, that's awesome, man, and I couldn't agree with you more. Um, there are days where you, again, like I said, where you just want to say fuck it and throw your badge at the boss or slam it on the counter and tell the customer to go to hell. But it definitely is worth it. And to everybody listening who is out there fighting in the trenches right now, just please know that you are very much appreciated. That it shows people that we are necessary. There are a lot of people that want to just walk all over us and make us feel like shit. But as one retail worker who, I hate to quote Drake on it, but who really started from the bottom, it's hard. You're going to eat so many shit sandwiches, it's not even funny. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to be broken. You're going to be, man, I just got paid and I'm already broke. Keep at it. Keep the, keep the pace. I promise you, somebody's going to see your hard work. Somebody's going to notice you, and just do what you got to do. Or even if this is just a side gig you have while you pay for yourself to go to college or you're doing something, or even it doesn't matter. Just keep going. You have support. You're not alone. Mitch, I really appreciate you being on the channel today, buddy, and on the podcast. I had a lot of fun. I'm gonna love for you to be back on at some point. I know you have a YouTube channel. Do you want to go ahead and give that a shout out right now? Go ahead and say what your YouTube channel.
Um, you might have to put it on the screen because it's awkward,
Okay.
but it's um, Fall 3 NX B3 AST X91.
Oh boy, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
No, I'm just
if
joking.
you want to
I'll
watch
I'll put
somebody
it in the
open up some
description.
Pokemon cards,
Okay.
that's what's on there. I
Hey,
got a video that's got like 1,200 views or something, which is pretty insane.
dude, what are you kidding me? That's like godly to me. I mean, I combined all my videos have almost maybe 200, if that, and I'm up to episode. I'm recording episode 5 or 6 right now. Actually, I think this is episode 6.
I
Um,
had like a little bit over 300 subscribers, and it's been just declining because I don't post because it's hard to buy Pokemon cards.
Hey, there's a post out there, or it was a meme, and anytime I come across it, I share it, and I most likely and I know I tag you in it every time. But it was what was it? It was like I have friends who are gangbangers and who sell drugs, and I've got friends who still trying to collect all 151 original Pokemon. If I fuck with you, I fuck with you. So Mitch, you'll always be my boy. You got much love for me, and I really appreciate you being on the channel, buddy.
Gang, gang.
Gang, gang. You stupid. All right, everybody. Thank you for being on, coming in, listening to us for episode 6 of Retail Shenanigans. I know we might have got a little off track every once in a while, talking about our personal memories, but that's okay. If you're here to laugh and have fun and to learn and to just know that you are not alone out there. This episode will probably be going up tomorrow, which will be Thursday, the 23rd. So everybody, will you look forward to you viewing this? And please like and subscribe and share so we can only get bigger and better. Have a great day, everybody.
Arrivederci.